Is your faith more about flawless performance than genuine connection? Fatima's story is about the suffocating pressure of spiritual perfectionism and the freedom she finds in a simple truth from her son. Watch to learn how a crooked rug and a child's wisdom can shatter unrealistic expectations and reveal the beauty of an imperfect, open heart. In the quiet corner of her living room, Fatima carefully unrolled her prayer rug, the soft fabric unfolding like a promise. Yet her heart pounded with familiar, anxious anticipation. Prayer felt less like communion and more like an exam she feared failing. She cherished her faith, yet lately she felt as though she was falling short of spiritual perfection, and as though her prayers were an exam that she was perpetually failing. She settled onto her knees, the rug cool beneath her palms, but her mind was restless. Thoughts intruded relentlessly. Her children's laughter echoed in another room. An email she had forgotten to send. Earlier that day, the dinner she needed to prepare. Each stray thought felt like a blemish on a pure white cloth, a sign that she was falling short. She believed that her prayers had to be flawless, words recited without distraction, movements done without hesitation, a heart completely steady and pure. Anything less felt like an unworthy offering. Today, the familiar internal struggle was worse than usual. As she knelt and focused inward, a quick glance at the rug caught her eye. It was off by a few inches, not perfectly aligned with the direction of prayer. Frustration and shame surged through her like a tidal wave. "Oh, I can't even get this right," she thought, her eyes filling with tears. The weight of her perceived failure pressed down hard on her chest. She felt utterly defeated, as if her efforts were meaningless, her devotion questioned by her own impossible standards. In the stillness, she heard the soft footsteps of her 5-year-old son toddling over. He climbed beside her and awkwardly mirrored her posture. With a gentle pat on her back, he whispered, "It's okay, Mama. Allah knows where you are." Fatima's breath caught at the simple truth in his words, her son innocent and unburdened by the complexities of spiritual expectations, reminded her of what she had lost sight of. God did not require perfection, only presence, sincerity, and openness. The crooked rug did not diminish her prayer. The wandering mind did not render her unworthy. What mattered was that she showed up, heart laid bare, yearning for connection. A tear slid down her cheek, not one of shame, but of relief. In that moment, the rigid walls of her spiritual perfectionism crumbled. She allowed herself grace, accepting the imperfections as part of her path. Fatima finished her prayer, her mind no longer a battlefield, but a quiet space filled with peace. From that day forward, whenever anxiety threatened to steal her joy, Fatima remembered the crooked rug and her little son's comforting words. She learned that sometimes faith is not about flawless practice, but about faithful presence, imperfect, honest, and deeply human. And in that presence, she found the closeness to God she had always sought. One sunny morning, Fatima decided to repaint her living room. As she moved furniture, she came across the prayer rug, still a bit crooked. Instead of straightening it, she smiled. It was a reminder of her journey, her imperfections, and her son's simple wisdom. Later that day, Fatima sat with her son, telling him a story about a little bird who thought it had to sing perfectly to be loved. Her son listened intently, his eyes wide with wonder. When the story ended, he snuggled closer and said, "Mama, I love your stories, even when you forget some parts." Fatima hugged him tightly. "Thank you, my love. Me too," she whispered. She knew her journey with faith was ongoing, always changing. But she was ready to embrace it all, imperfections and all, knowing that true faith was in the open heart. She continued her spiritual journey, armed with self-compassion and the comforting reminder of her son's wisdom. And that she will never be alone as long as she embraces her imperfections as a part of her humanity. For in the tapestry of life, it is the imperfections that make it beautiful and uniquely ours.